The odds-on favourite Winning Rupert, and Eckstein's going to go out quickly as well. So there's Eckstein, Duff, on screen.
Yeah, look, she's just gone from strength to strength. She's always
already in the saddle.
He's heading straight for that tree behind the barriers there. He's looked the real deal, running fast times of late. Admittedly on summer tracks, 1400 for the first time, but he's set to make it 6 from 6 here. Look, he won't want to stay on the run.
Stand by. Gates open, racing now, and Teatro Lani. Winning Rupert begins sweetly. They're the first couple. Damn Ready, Miss Wonderlander beats them as going forward. River Racer, Global Glamour, Rare Recurrence, Eckstein. Candica on the outside of Flying Jess. Mr. Marcuse on the outside of Pipeline. Crack Me Up, Heart's Pipeline, third last, second last is Far Away Town, and Heart Skip to Beat is still last of all. It's beats them, 600 metres left to go. Led narrowly here from Global Glamour on the outside. Winning Rupert 2 lengths away third. Teatro Lani, Rare Recurrence has been wide, and then Miss Wonderland followed by River Racer, and the next one is Eckstein from Mr. Marcoux. Global Glamour, 350 metres left to go. She's the leader. Winning Rupert going into second. Beatsham is beaten off, and the next one is Eckstein. The widest is Far Away Town. Winning Rupert on the outside of Global Glamour. Global Glamour still just for the lead from Winning Rupert. Flying Jess down the outside, and Eckstein is flashing home as well. Global Glamour just in front. Flying Jess on the outside goes to it and gets up. Flying Jess on the line has won it from Global Glamour and Eckstein. Winning Rupert tied for fourth. Then Candica, Far Away Town, River Racer, followed by Miss Wonderland and Beatsham. Crack Me Up. The next time there was Pipeline, Mr. Marcoux, Damn Ready, Rare Recurrence, Teatro Lani, and the last one was Heart Skip to Beats.
Flying Jess, number 8. At any old odds, you can have on track 100 to 1. 100 to 1. Number 8, Flying.
Honestly, and I just thought they'd forgotten about us.
How many in the syndicate?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Probably about 15 or so people.
How much he cost? The excitement continues here on the Gold Coast as we get set for another $2 million race, and this is for the 2-year-olds. The Jeep Magic Millions, our mounting yard brought to you by Harvey Norman, the half-year.
Toby, you must be thrilled.
She does, Bernie. She's a bit concerned about her heading up today, but she's handled it pretty good.
420 now, so Hootson just out 360. Of course, about its name was supposed to be named after a Victoria's Secret model whose name is Dootson, and the phone auto-corrected it back to a H instead of a D, and Toby just put the form in with H.
Racing in the Magic Millions, and Medinity down on the inside begins sweetly. Ours to Keep likewise. There's Hootson. She's burning over, and Hootson's got the lead easily here from Medinity. Ours to Keep is third, and going to fourth is Bring It Home Pot from Invincible Star. From within next on the outside is Cellar Girl, Falconic, and then we've got Real Princess. The next one there down the side is Invader, Arrest Star, Chauffeur, Champ-Elect, Goodfella, Madame Moustache, and Saxon Rockers last of all. 10 lengths off the Flying Filly. Hootson, 600 metres left to go. Hootson led by 2.5 lengths to Medinity. Next the inside there is Cellar Girl from Bring It Home Pop. Ours to Keep, Invincible Star, and then Falconic, Real Princess, and from within Hootson at the 375, led by about 2 lengths here from Medinity. Invincible Star on the outside. Bring It Home Pop is the next one, and Falconic over on the inside. Hootson, can she keep going at the moment? Yes, she's about 2.5 lengths in front of Medinity. Bring It Home Pop, and running home a Chauffeur down the outside. Hootson's in front with 100 metres left to go. Here's Chauffeur out of the pack. Hootson's in front of Chauffeur. Hootson's gripping on, and Hootson goes all the way to win the Magic Millions. Won it by 3/4 to Chauffeur. It's a photo third. Up there is Invader, Goodfella, and Medinity. They're the 3. Champ-Elect next in from Madame Moustache. Ours to Keep, Arrest Star, Invincible Star, Real Princess, Bring It Home Pop, Saxton Rock from within. Second last home there was Falconic, and the last one was Cellar Girl. Hootson, you are a star.
Hootson is your Magic Millions champion for 2017, has defeated the fast-finishing Chauffeur, and Medinity will have
this the ball, that's for sure. He would have been comfortable about the whole race, I can tell you that much. When Gay's horse didn't kick up underneath him, it was all over.
Yeah. It was a very similar way to how it won.
To lead as comfortably and as by far as she did when you put that plan into place.
Look, I got one of my best mates is he's got this whiz-bang database, and he told me if you want to, nothing's got as much leg speed. If you want to lead, just go on with it. You know, it's quite simple, and there you go.
Very, very quick.
the 2 starts she's had, she's just began so brilliantly prior to yesterday, and that's where she's ended up, you know. So.
And the barrier forced her again.
The barrier forced her hand again yesterday. So she's not. I just hope she doesn't turn into a one-dimensional filly, but you know, she can be ridden from back.
That is nearly a carbon copy of what she did a week beforehand here. The way she crossed Jeff.
She's fine.
That's good.
Yeah,
and she's looking to a capitalist.
Yeah, that's right. It's only been done 3 times, isn't it? 3 times. Dance Hero, Feeling Ready, Capitalist. Now favourite.
Well, funnily enough, she was. There was one bet on her yesterday of $10,000 at $15, and that was around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that punter's now feeling a lot happier themselves. So she sits there as the favourite at the moment as a $6 chance. She will reign second pick at 8. Chauffeur and Gerald, I think their first reaction yesterday was more size than slipper. Khan
was the best backed early. Now some money coming for Chetwood. So what that means is Malaguera has gone quiet, which is surprising given how much we love Malaguera. But Blackheart Bart has got it as low as $2.30. Now it's $2.40 in Chetwood.
Weight for age sprint, a Group 2 sprint worth $200,000. Special Scalacci, Hariba. Our mobs, some stars have won this race, and in recent years, Black Cat.
Gates explode back and they're racing in the Australia Stakes, and Chetwood and Sir Bible got the best of the start. Malaguera fast out. It is written as 4th. Blackheart Bart just behind those a little wide. Peacock in the centre. Turn Me Loose on the fence. 2 away in the field. Mourinho and Palantino on the fence last of all. Sir Bible for the Gouch. In front coming off the back. By a length on Chetwood under double wraps. Malaguera a length and a half away. It is written Turn Me Loose. They were followed by Blackheart Bart. He gives Sir Bible 5.5 lengths. Then came Peacock. Mourinho under pressure. Palantino bailed up on the fence. Past the 600 metres mark, and Chetwood now looming up dangerously to Sir Bible. Going the better in a different grade. He took the lead a half length. Malaguera's 2 lengths away, about to give chase. They've got away from It Is Written. Blackheart Bart's got it all to do on the corner. Peacock, the 3-year-old, is in front of him. Chetwood in front, but Sir Bible is tough as tungsten. Can you believe it? He's come back and he's hit the lead for the Gouch. Here comes Big Mal. Malaguera coming with his run. Malaguera storming up. Blackheart Bart from the back of the field. Malaguera takes the lead. He's too big. He's too strong. He's powering away. Malaguera won the Australian Stakes from Blackheart Bart. Sir Bible, the race of his lifetime. Palantino and Eyecatcher from the black. They were followed by Peacock. Chetwood cracked under pressure. Behind those, It Is Written. Then came well out of it, Turn Me Loose, and Mourinho.
The Group 1 sprinter wins the Group 2 sprint. It's as simple as that. He was far too good for the Malaguera. Benny Mellum drew an awkward gate. He came up, he camped on the speed. And he was the horse you wanted to be on 600 metres out. And Benny Mellum let him rip, and
This time, Victorian official price has Catchy as the favourite, $2.25 now at $2.15. Limestone on the drift, $2.60 out to $3. Arctic Angels getting support, $8.50 now into 7. Removes $8.50 to 9 marginal drift, and double figure odds for the rest of the
stall. They're racing now. Oh, Fabrication blew the start completely, and it's a clear last. And Arctic Angel, the first one to begin ahead of Pandemonium Limestone, and about 3 lengths further back in the little less than that now. Zapoy is getting up into 4th placing. They're followed a length and a half then to Remove. Second last is Catchy and Fabrication, 6 lengths away. Inside the 800 metres now, Arctic Angel narrowly with Pandemonium on the outside. They're about 2 lengths in front of Zapoy, just getting a little bit over racing a touch outside Limestone. 2 Removes ahead to the favourite Catchy and Fabrication, 2 lengths away. Arctic Angel and Nick in front coming around the turn from Pandemonium. Zapoy and Limestone waiting on a run as Catchy peels out 3 wide to make her run. Into the straight now. Arctic Angel, Pandemonium from Zapoya. Catchy trying to run onto the outside, and Limestone trying to get away from the heels of the leader. Still Arctic Angel in front. Now Limestone got off the heels to challenge. Catchy starting to wind up now. Here's Catchy after Limestone and Arctic Angel. Catchy and Limestone coming to the lead together. Catchy, Limestone, bobbing go. That's a good photo. Catchy, Limestone ahead of Arctic Angel. Rumu's got home nicely from Pandemonium, and a break in the field, Zapoya, who weakened out, and Fabrication, who bombed the start last in.
What a race, what a finish, and it may go the way of Catchy with a bob in right on the line. We'll get there for David Hayes, Ben Hayes, Tom Daveneg, the Lindsay Park operation, and Craig Williams, his first win of the day. She jumped at $2.45. She was on the drift, and $2.30 for Catchy, and $1.10. $1.20. Third looks to have gone the way.
is back and says, I want to win. I love that about her.
Yeah, she wanted it, didn't she? You know, like the other horse looked like it had her measure, but like you said, she really flattened out and savaged the line.
There was a millimetre between Limestone and Catchy. Was there more in the merit of either's run here? I mean, Limestone still flies under the radar.
It's still, because it does so many things wrong. Can you do so many things wrong as in regards to your manners in a grand final?
Probably, you know, no, you can't really do anything wrong in a Blue Diamond, I don't reckon.
But you can see Catchy here, this is the first time she's really had to lengthen and sort of gun something down, because in her 2 previous wins, the race was over at the sort of 150, 200 metre mark, but there she really sort of was quite determined through the line. Just on Limestone, Damien Lane was of the opinion she's still just over-racing a touch early in her races, and that's sort of what's bringing her undone. And he said, look, if he had the opportunity to be where Craig Williams was and sort of working around into the race, say from the 300 or 400 and building momentum rather than being stop and start, he feels that the result may have been a little bit different, but we're only talking about a margin that was very, very minimal.
And that distance variations, you say even in brackets high class.
I think they're very high class group.
All 10 of them are high class.
Well, I think that's possible.
And here,
getting on tow here in the Colts and Geldings prelude, Azael for Tony McAvoy, really playing up in the mounting yard, as is number 8 In Denial from the Maloney camp. But the favourite is Pariah on the drift to $3.70. Horse number 1 is Azael.
Pariah jumped well, so did South. Mighty Boss a bit slow to move. Azazel began brilliantly from out wide, and Wait for No One also got away quickly, and Property just off them. So it's Azazel out deep, but Wait for No One using the rail there, the 2 leaders. South between them, third, a length and a half, Enunciate, who's getting through between runners, and over racing right behind them then is Overshare. Property's got away from the inside in a pretty good poise, followed by Marsupial, Pariah, and then Can't Remember, a length and a half away is Sheer Madness, followed by In Denial and Mighty Boss, and back at the end is Will's Bid. Wait for No One, a length and a half clear, coming around the home turn from Tsao. Azazel the outside, Overshare, White Cap right behind them, followed by Property, who peeled out, and then came Marsupial. Azazel and Marsupial, Overshare battling away, Wait for No One getting a little tired, Property coming at it, here's Pariah starting to launch, still Wait for No One in the dying stages, Property gradually getting there, Williams again, Property got there by a half to either Wait for No One or Pariah, who finished it off really strongly, and then came Azazel. Overshare battled away okay, South weakened, and then Marsupial followed by Will's Bid. They're trailed by In Denial, Sheer Madness, Enunciate, Can't Remember is at the tail of the field.
Well, he wins the preview, he wins the prelude. Property does it again. Robert Smith on the card, and Craig Williams out both of the two features. $5 $5.
Geldings, this is Property's performance. What did you make of Pariah? I thought Pariah, considering it was a Sydney colt, first look at Caulfield, held up at a couple of occasions. I can make a case that he turned the tables on Property.
Yeah, I think Kerrin McAvoy was not dirty on himself, but he said early in the race he had the option of racing forward of Craig Williams or taking the option to come in behind him, and he said he made the split-second decision to come back and trail Craig Williams, but he said in hindsight he wishes he would have been forward of him because the speed of the race coming out, and then when they sprinted, Pariah was left flat-footed. Yeah. He said if he was sort of dictated to from that position, and there you can see that Property's put 2 or 3 lengths on him, and then he's sort of running back down to whatever the margin was at the finish, where he got within, say, a length and a half, or almost a length at the line. So 1,200 is, I think, the Snowden sort of camp, and whether it's Kerrin McAvoy riding or whether Blake Shinn actually comes back from suspension will be another little talking point, because it was Blake's ride initially, but then he couldn't because he was suspended today, and I think the Snowden team have got a little bit of deciding to do there, even though he's probably the front runner because he's been riding horse.
Just as you watched Pariah then and you're thinking about the dangers, I mean, he didn't win and all the focus is on Williams' juggling act, but that was a darn good trial, Pariah, then, wasn't it?
It is $6 the field. Have a look at Brent, go through them all. Have a look. Go down to Tulip, $11. You can legitimately make a case. Zazel didn't lose any admirers yesterday at $21 as well.
But I'm happy enough to go with the 1 and the 3 in the opening leg.
Bit of support for Chautauqua now into 265 with our friends at Crown Bet. Held $4.80. Wild Rain, who'll be on speed, $5. She's got good stats at the trips. And here's big ball, the grey Chautauqua. World. And he looks a magnificent for his run. 70 Victoria markets that open this week.
And Chautauqua evenly. Right away here, and Wild Rain shows the way by 2 lengths to Super Cash. The mares are first and second. 2 lengths Eldivino outside I'm a Star. The length and 3/4 in Aqua. 600 to go. He's 5 off the leader. 2 lengths fast and rocking. So Wild Rain to the turn leads over. Super Cash chasing work around the turn, and I'm a Star. Eldivino niggled at. Done sitting on Chautauqua. Turn. Out. Hellbent's on his back. Led Super Cash down towards the 250. I'm getting up on the inside from Chautauqua still 4 lengths off. Dunn switching the whip right to left. It's Super Cash claiming the lead though with about 50 to go. Super Cash drawing away from I'm a Star and Chautauqua. Super Cash a length I'm a Star. They've got tight right on the line. Chautauqua worked home fairly to get the third, but it's not the Chautauqua of old. Then Hellbent fast and rocking. Behind those to finish, Eldivino didn't go on, and Wild Rain was last in.
Caitlin Mallion goes back to back in this race, winning it last year with Heatherly, this year with Super Cash. $16.70 and $6.30 on the $18 Victorian official. Well done to Andrew Nob. Great faith in this mare, and that was a terrific win. She's defeated the filly $3.40, and Chautauqua has grabbed third, no third dividend ahead of Hellbent. 6, 8, 1 and 3.
What a performance.
Here was the Rubiton. Firstly, a lot of it will be about Chautauqua, but take a bow, Andrew Nobbert. Fantastic to have Super Cash back. She certainly deserved this win. Huge tick for her. There was some big disappointments out of the race. Eldivino was one. Wild Rain was a disappointment. Hellbent didn't run anywhere near as what we thought. So I Am a Star's a tick as well. But talk about Chautauqua.
Well, to me, close enough and comfortable enough and rhythmical enough in the run to reel them in. He hits that. I reckon that flat spot that he's always hit is getting flatter and longer now. I reckon he hit that flat spot for a good 200 metres yesterday, and he was close enough at the 600, but at the 300 he sort of wasn't, which was unusual because he didn't lose that much ground. And I know you're going to say that the clock says he smashed it for every 200 metres, but just to the eye, I just don't think he's got the same willpower that he had, and whether or not now he's still a great horse and there's still wins in store, but whether they just have to sort of reassess and change tack now. I don't think there's much of a future for him in those short course sprints because I think he's always going to hit that flat spot and he's always going to run home great sectionals, but he's going to lose more than he wins, which for a great horse can avoid stat if they plot a different course now.
I think you've got a really valid point. I just think he's always been a sprinter miler who was so brilliant over a short trip that they just kept him there. But really his best trip, in my opinion, and this is an opinion I think that the Hawks team have always thought, is a 1400 metre, 1600 metre horse. And I think now we're seeing it at 6 years of age, travelling over that he's a miler.
As a fan, Kieran, in the stands and as a horseman, where do you think he's at? And what
the Caulfield Guineas winner, 9 out to $11. Team Hawks and Dwayne Dunn.
Yeah, of course, as you mentioned, as that good form leading in, first up today, and has got a good fresh record as well. Winning the Australia Stakes was terrific. I think from that gate will work forward. I'm hoping they do, and just that early tactical speed might be the difference in beating Blackheart Bard, who has to be a big chance with that outstanding and unbeaten here at this track over the. These are Rocky, but.
From our last.
Rick goes to the outside. Fielder's right to run for the CF4 Stakes. 1400 at weight for age. They're ready. And racing. Arrod brilliantly away. Divine Prophet a bit slow in the early stages. Malaguera, Ecuador and Turn Me Loose all the way very, very quickly. Lucky Hustler just behind them in the early stages of the race. As they settle down, Blackheart Bart about 6th or 7th out a bit wide. And Turn Me Loose had the lead. Malaguera got across quickly to 2nd. Ecuador's a length and a half away 3rd. They're followed Arrod on the inside. Next, Miss Rose Delago caught out 3 wide. Awesome Rock the centre. Lucky Hustler in the middle. 1 further back is Blackheart Bart, followed by Divine Prophet. He's our Rocky Palantino, and Jamaica a length and a half last. At the 800, Turn Me Loose just over a length now. Malaguera 2nd, Arrod on the rail 3rd, a bit keen. A length further back in the field, then Miss Rose Delago. She's moved to 4th around Ecuador. Then by Blackheart Bart, Awesome Rocket, Lucky Hustler, a length and a half to Palantino. They're followed by Divine Prophet. Back on the inside, he's our Rocky and Jamaica 9 from the leader. Turn Me Loose around the home turn from Malaguera, Miss Rose Delago. Arrod in behind them with Ecuador and Blackheart Bart. Called on Freeze right ahead of Palantino and Jamaica pull right out wide. Turn Me Loose led in the straight from Malaguera. Down the outside, Blackheart Bart starting to come, and then Ecuador and Awesome Rock. Turn Me Loose giving something. Blackheart Bart, Rawilla really had to shake him up. Now he really stretches. Blackheart Bart claims a lead late. Blackheart Bart draws away and big Turn Me Loose 3rd. Ecuador's got up on the fence. Jamaica flew home late, and Palantino. Just behind them, Awesome Rock, followed behind those then Malaguera, who weakened, and he's our Rocky. Divine Prophet, Miss Rose Delago had a tough one fresh. Then Lucky Hustler towards the end, and Arrod weakened in last home.
He could seriously lay claims to being the king of Caulfield, Blackheart Bart. That's his 3rd Group 1 at the track as he takes out the CF4 Stakes. And a brilliant ride by Brad Rawilla for Darren Weir. The 18th Group 1 success of Weary's career, and his 5th for Blackheart Bart, well backed. He got into $3.20 Victorian official price, $2.90 and $1.50.
Give you so much confidence when you come out and jump on him. Sam, you've got no idea how much I love this. The legend, money. There you go. There's Brad Rawilla giving Blackheart Bart.
Do we undersell him? I mean, this horse has won 4 Group 1s, from 1,200 metres through to 1,800 metres. He's been runner-up on 5 Group 1s up to 2,000 metres. And probably 3 or 4 of them he could or should have won, those narrow.
A 2nd in the Stradbroke was outstanding. 2nd in the Newmarket. I mean, he's probably 2nd only to Winks. You know, incredible season he's had. He was a standout in the yard yesterday, and you know, look, just since his first up run, he's come on, and we were expecting a big run, and he certainly delivered. He's here 3 wide, the yellow sleeves, but is he a smooth ride? Is he a nice cruisy horse to ride? Well, he's getting better all the time. Like, you know, 12 months ago when he was running the Newmarket, it was very, you know, he would over race, you know. Whereas now he's just push button how you want him. He relaxes for you and gives a great kick, and probably the staying prep last time is really helped him in that regard. He just reaches for the line, doesn't he? He hasn't got the most glamorous action, has he? But he just keeps coming and coming, doesn't he? For sure, and tough as they come. So,
out of the Australia Stakes, did you think he'd done enough to then be that force he was there yesterday?
Absolutely. You know, look, when his first up run in the Memsie last in the spring was, to be honest, we were all a little bit probably thinking that he hadn't done enough, and yet, you know, you just seen how dominant the winner was that day, and he was more ready going into yesterday with that Australia Stakes run first up, so we were very confident.
And are you happy to see him at that sort of 1,400 metre trip, potentially a mile, not go much further than that?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, he won an 1,800 number stakes and was 2nd, only beaten 2 lengths behind the best horse in the world. So, you know, he's, you know, I don't, obviously his best form is, says it on paper, that Caulfield and...
Mark Zara, Palantino.
Well, we followed Blackheart Bart. They just had a turn of foot. He's just looking for that bit longer now, but he ran well.
Nolan, Jamaica.
Lovely return. She probably just peaked a little bit late, so there's nice improvement in her. She only had the 1 trial, so yeah, very happy.
Dwayne Dunn, Divine Prophet.
Yeah, just wanting to see.
Anything goes outside the top weight, I have to have him on top. Let's leave him what I did this morning. 1-5-3-2. Music Magnate for me.
Magnate's best back by a mile. We're holding 7 times more in it than on the next best back runner. In saying that, was 185 into 165, now back out to $1.90. They've just started to back.
Expressway Stakes. Here's Darren for the call.
Well, as much as even to the Australian turf. And here we go for the 2017 Expressway Stakes. The starter about to press the button. He does now. And they jumped out as one. Although Handfast is drifting back and the speedy Ball of Muscle's going to lead comfortably. Music Magnate's got enough zip to be right up behind it in second. Kuro third. Followed by Attention looking to slip in. Big Money's close up behind it and Handfast the last one. Big Muscle, he's got a big Ball of Muscle. He's got a big stride on him and leads by 3/4 to Music Magnate. Then Attention and Kuro Park just behind. Further back to Big Money and Handfast is the last one. Racing down the side of the course of the 700 and Ball of Muscle looking to make all. The short price favourite Music Magnate is really serving it up down the outside as they race to the turn. Then came the 3-year-old Attention around Kuro, who's racing in restricted room from Big Money, and Handfast is the last one. Ball of Muscle still travelling for Clark. Music Magnate being popped the question by McAvoy. He's giving chase. Music Magnate laying it down now to Ball of Muscle. Kuro's looking to work into the clear. Music Magnate just the leader from Ball of Muscle. Kuro running on, but now he's starting to edge clear Music Magnate. Great return to racing, and Music Magnate goes on to beat Kuro. I think Ball of Muscle just held third in front of Big Money. Then Attention and Handfast was the last in.
1, 2, and maybe 3 from 4. 1, 2, 3 from 4 will get the number through, but the favourite wins here. Music Magnate jumped on the speed, and I reckon
it's a little bit nerve-wracking with a horse like that coming back, and trialling well and racing well are really two different things. So it was good to see him back like that, and a really good ride by
Light Fingers, Group 2 for the 3-year-old fillies Duff. A tremendous lineup. Looking forward to this. It's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, 5, 1, 2, 3 for me. I'm with her as well. Honesty prevails. She hasn't turned her hair. She's done enough work. She looks sharp. She's going to show a really good turn of speed here. I think Global Glamour, the quality angle of her is going to take her a long, long way. I think Sprite's got in. Yeah, she's well fancied, but Global Glamour, that's the professional hard money there to be 230 here back in distance. She did parade a lot.
Favourite today. And the starter about to release the field. We're set now, racing. Global Glamour's jumped out pretty well. She's mustering together with Louboutin, and Honesty Prevails has speared out off the inside. Gridlin smartly into stride, settles in fourth, followed by Samantha. Then Long Time Ago, Fox Play and French Fern midfield. Sprite's been taken back from 2-2. A length and a half further back to McQueen, followed by Miss Beneteau. Well back is Zenalicious as they race up towards the home turn, and back last is Fab the Air. Racing towards the turn, and she's well clear. Global Glamour at the 600 metres. 2.5 clear from Louboutin. Honesty Prevails back in third, followed by Gridlin covering a bit of ground around Samantha. Fox played the outside, then Long Time Ago. Sprite has cluttered up between runners, looking to get to the outside, and she does so now. Up the rise and Global Glamour. Parr tries to kick away at the 300 metres. She's got a healthy lead at this stage. Gridlin and Fox Play starting to close in. Then Louboutin, and Sprite gives away a good start. Honesty Prevails can't win, but Global Glamour in front. Fox Play is running on stoutly. Global Glamour in front of Fox Play, who's wide out surging. Global Glamour, Fox Play. Oh, I'm not sure here. They're very wide apart, Global Glamour and Fox Play. Photo finish, then Sprite from Gridlin and Louboutin. Further back to French Fern, Samantha. Mo Queen, Zenalicious. Honesty Prevails Long Time Ago. Miss Beneteau, Fab the Air, and 2-2's last end.
Well, this makes it very tricky with these horses wide apart. Now, you see Global Glamour, but you won't see Fox until very, very the piece. It'll be the last thing you see. Fox plays.
We had a great day at Caulfield. Now we can build up to Monday. It should be running at 5:40, so an opportunity for everyone in Sydney to go to work, knock off a little early and go and watch Winx. 5:40, and it'll be covered nationally on 7-2, which is fantastic for half an hour.
Special, all about Winks. There's the market for the Apollo Stakes. I mean, she just wins. It's a good forward track. So the rain-affected track that Hartnell was probably barracking for is being eliminated. It'll be 25 degrees, Brent. It's a Group 2, and it's a Group 2.
A 48-hour delay to her return to racing. Here we are on a Monday afternoon to see the return of the superstar.
Yeah, it's great to see the crowd get behind her and get here after work and just to see a champion. There's no better advertisement for racing than a great racehorse, and we're about to see Chips and the Queen Elizabeth, another tilted that. She's going for far lapse record today of 14 straight, so a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, 14 straight she's aiming for today. She's won 9 Group 1s, 5 Group 2s, a Group 3. There were 2 wins early in her career, and hopefully she'll join us in a moment. She's the one we're here to see. Let's start with Hartnell. Well, they've had some big clashes, none bigger than the Cox Plate build-up last year, but he was no match that day.
Well, he's 102 days off. He looked great in his only trial. He's a class act in his own right, Hartnell, and he's sure to be running on at the end of this race. And look, never underestimate a horse with his ability.
The mighty mare, Winks, back at the races today. Chris Waller, the trainer, and he's moving into position to mount up on board. Winks heading for 14 straight today.
Well, what can you say? She's a champion mare. It's great to have her back. She should box seat here.
Pretty good price, really, if you're better than bank interest and all that. She's $1.15, as she has been basically.
Today, as go they're racing. She wasn't great out of the gates, Winks. She's going to settle well back in the second half of the field and jump well. So did Endless Drama, who's rolling forward on the outside, and Libaz there as well. Dibiani positions up in fourth, a couple of lengths off the leaders. Lasquetti Spirit's being pushed along, getting up on the outside. Winks. The outside of Ambience, a couple further back to then Sacred Master from Preferment, Magic Hurricane and Libran last about a dozen lengths off the leader, which today length on Libaz in second, then Endless Drama around Dibiani, deeper out Lasquetti Spirit and just behind them, one off the fence around Ambience, 2 further back to Hartnell, then Sacred Master Preferment, Magic Hurricane and Libran is the last one inside the 600 metres. Shiraz a length clear from Libaz. Then Endless Drama the outside. Dibiani poking just behind them. Bowman starting to negotiate a way to the outside. Into the daylight now. Endless Drama moves up. But she just ambles up on the outside of Winks. Hartnell's 3 lengths. Here goes Winks. Put pay 2. Endless Drama. Hartnell's running on, looking for second. But here's 14 for the equine Queen of the World. First up performance, she wins it by 2.5 to Hartnell. They panelled the rest. The Irish import, Endless Drama third, a distant one at that. Magic Hurricane, Preferment, Libran, and Libaz further back to Shiraz and Sacred Master. She's back as good as ever.
And she just leaves you wanting more. We can't get enough of this girl. Wow, what a win. Another 14 in a row. The winning continues. Winks is back. And Chris Waller. The big package. It's all holding together. On again.
That's always the hardest race, the first race back. So many behind her.
Here we are. She's not
but she's starting to move into the mainstream. Mainstream radio stations want to talk about it. Mainstream TV wants to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I've had some requests on Twitter from some presenters at Fox Sports suggesting how can I get in contact with Chris Waller, because they want to do some stories and features. You just don't get that type of traction unless you've got this supreme superstar horse. And program, the way that he's managing the media, Chris, and also Hugh and the connections, they're doing everything they can to promote Winx and promote her and open her up to an audience. And I was surprised how well she went there first time. I was expecting her to win, but she destroyed them.
Hartnell ran through the roof as well, and you know, sometimes you need to see them again to be reminded again of just how good they are, because even in the run early on, I'm thinking, gee, you're in a slightly sticky spot here, you know, if you're just a good horse, you know, and that
the margin back to second, the margin back to third, then margin back to fourth, like she just absolutely destroyed them.
That's as good as she's gone.
I agree. That's as good as she's gone first up, which is either scary or a worry. It's either scary as to what level she can go, or how many, you know, well, gee, did she go too well? That sounds so
I'd
stupid,
imagine that Chris Waller would, given the pressure and the expectation of her to win every time she goes to races, she's up to the mark. Like, absolutely. There's nothing sort of just going there, a nice soft 1400, we'll get through this and build into
What about if you... Now, she goes Chipping Norton...
on Saturday.
She goes Chipping Norton...
Chautauqua in the Rider,
and then she goes to Queen Elizabeth. If she wins all three, she goes to 12 Group 1s. She goes to the second highest money earner ever, behind Makybe Diva. But then the horse that's run second is unbelievable. Why doesn't... Surely he's coming to the Australian Cup.
But why would you come to the Australian Cup?
Keep having a
go.
go.
He can run in a Ranvet on the same day on his home track in Sydney.
Keep having a go. Keep having a go.
Not far off it.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Metres in Sydney, and they don't have to bring him.
I didn't realise. I thought it was a...
We've all seen great horses. I'm now convinced that she's the best horse I've ever seen. Not necessarily internationally with Frankel in mind, but she's the best Australasian horse I've ever seen.
She's better than Black Caviar.
Yep. Oh, she's more rounded.
She's more versatile.
Yeah, she deserves a slightly higher place.
She's better than Makybe Diva.
Yep, she is.
I'd love to have seen So You Think have a lot more longevity here, because what he did so space of time, I reckon if he had the
significantly better horse.
If he had the
stock that is dominating the market, $3.40 currently with Crown Bet. There's a few others that have been nibbled at, but certainly it is Haydock that's the best backed at this stage. $3.40 the price, $4.40 is the best that's been available throughout. Seaburge, $5.50 and very steady.
And Haydock brilliantly away, lands in front of Yulong Shengdao, Ballet Master pushing through, Wasn't Me Kaching, and coming over is Malaysia ahead of Manolo Blahnik. Seaburge last or so as they settle into stride, and now it's Ballet Master came Throstle, and he is second last and Hardham is last. They've run the first part pretty quickly, and Manolo Blahnik at the 600 led from Yulong Shengdao. Ballet Master and Malaysia's fourth, Haydock fifth on the outside. Couldn't have asked for a better run really. Wasn't Me Kachinga next, and then came Land of Plenty, who's been deep for much of the journey when they corner in, and Seaburge pulls to the outside, and Throstle trying to thread through, and Morton's Forks made a lot of ground near the inside. Now he needs a run. Manolo Blahnik, he leads at the 300 metres. Here come the runs now. Malays, Haydock running on. Morton's Fork behind these. Land of Plenty was next. Haydock full of running. Burst to the lead though. Inside the 200 from Malays, Morton's Fork and Land of Plenty. But it's Haydock racing clear from Malays, and Haydock won it well. Bit green on the line, but he beat Malays and Land of Plenty. Either Morton's Fork or Inside Agent next over, and then Silvera, Hardham, Throstle, Kaching and Manolo Blahnik. Seaburge didn't finish his race off. Wasn't Me towards the end in company with Ballet Master, and along last is Yulong Shengdao.
Well done to David Gately. A bit of confidence about Haydock, and he's delivered with a very impressive performance here. His second run for this campaign. Tony McAvoy combining $3.70 Victorian official price. He's paid $3.50.
They look at this race now, but also towards the future. And we saw this race last year when Tavachi on protest defeated Palantino, and of course then Palantino won the Australian Guineas. Haydock's the one they have to beat. He's just trucking into the race, terrific acceleration when required. You know what he is? He is just the ultimate professional.
Speaking with Luke Curry post-race, and he was of the opinion his main attribute is that ability to accelerate for 200 to 300 metres, put the race away, and then he doesn't sort of continue to build, but he's got a feeling of whether he's still going to be as effective at 1400 as he is at a mile. Can he stretch that brilliance to a mile, or does that start to plateau? And look, we saw in the spring, he wasn't far away in the Guineas, but was run down by Divine Prophet and Seabird. For Haydock, I feel, in 2 weeks' time.
I was having a chat to one of his part owners, Patrick Smith, the well-known journo.
Winner.
Yeah, I'm a good fan of this horse. He was obviously, this has been a target race for him all the way. Been beautifully positioned by Currier, which was pretty easy, I suppose, from barrier 4, but he just made all the right moves. He was the winner from here on in. He was travelling, he was well balanced, he sprints here. I do think he's a 1400 metre horse. They tried to stretch him to a mile last preparation. It didn't work, and I think he's more effective at this type of distances. Malays was good with the blinkers first time. Landed plenty of nice horse. He covered ground there and stuck on also. Morton's Fork never really got balanced, and maybe another chance of him when he gets to a mile, but it just looked a total domination here from the winner. He was always in control of this race.
What about Seabirds, Duffy? Coming around the corner, didn't he look like he was going to sort of maybe do...
See some one run.
For the feature, because this is a race that has been shuffling all over the place in terms of a favourite through the course of the week, and it is Flying Artie they've settled upon. $3.80 from $4.20, was $4.60 though an hour ago, and Flying Artie has certainly been the best backed late ahead of the feature today. Star Turn goes $4.80 to $4.60 after opening at $5 when this was set. Spieth has got out from $5 to $5.50, and then we have Sapita.
Is the 3-year-old Flying Artie getting support for? Beat from the drift, 5 to
half a point to $5.50, but certainly not left alone. Serpedo has been backed at $9.50, touched $9, but back there now, and $10 for Heatherly. Terra Vista is now a big drifter, but Flying Artie best backed. But
calling out quarterback. Oh, geez, got down to the gates. He slipped over in the gates. The quarterback has gone berserk, which is a terrible issue. He's got himself caught underneath the barriers, and he's lashing out. Now, quarterback's out at 4.47. That's the only one we have at the moment. Here he is on Screwhoo, both out at 4.48. The quarterback out at 4.47. Serpedo vetted and okay to run.
Hey, someone get Regan off that
so a calamitous start even before the gates have opened. To the stalls. So Serpedo to return to the stalls, and they'll be okay to run with 3 from the Black Caviar Lightning. So Flying Artie in 4, Heatherly alongside him, racing. And Flying Artie looked to be a little bit slow to move. Heatherly jumped well. Star Turn looking for a trail in behind them as Flambeuse began very fast. Heatherly quite keen, had it narrowly. Illustrious Lad deep out in the shadow roll, and Flambeuse on her inside show the way. Star Turn right in behind them, and Flying Artie getting covered too. Serpedo going up a little bit deeper on the course. Terra Vista's in behind them with Spieth, and counter-attackers last. So they come down to the 500 metres, and Heatherly shows the way. On her outside is Illustrious Lad. Star Turn and Flambeuse close up near the inside rail. Ahead of Flying Artie in traffic at the moment. Serpedo keeping him pocketed with Terra Vista. And then came Spieth as they came towards the 200 metres now. Star Turn and Flambeuse went up to Heatherly and Illustrious Lad. No run at all for Flying Artie. Star Turn and Flambeuse. Spieth getting up behind them, finishing well. It's Star Turn in front. Spieth going for a dive with Flambeuse. And Terra Vista flew home. Terra Vista flew home with Spieth. A photo finish. Maybe Terra Vista. Photo finish there. Start turn and Flambers close up the miners from Illustrious Lad Heatherly. It's a hard luck tale for Flying Artie. He never got out. And then came counter attack and Sapedo.
A race of drama, pre-race, through the race and right on the line. Terra Vista's going to get there. Terra Vista will win the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes narrowly over Spieth. Turner will grab third in a dramatic finish. An outstanding and Star Turn. What a race, Gator.
It was just that. Gee, it changed late, didn't it, to Star Turn. It looked like he was home, and then the older seasoned horses have launched late. Terra Vista, he's only got a short dash on him. You've got to hold him and hold him. And has timed it to perfection for the second time today and landed Terra Vista the Green Brown here at Flemington today. Terra Vista, an amazing record, 2 rides for 2 wins, Corey. You love him.
Oh, I've been lucky on him, Sam. I come home one day for the carnival when I first went to Singapore and landed on him because Huey was suspended, and he won with me at Randwick. So second time today, tried well. He's been racing in a bit of a hole, he's not been hitting the line. And we tried him the other day, tried Super, and obviously he's the best horse on paper, but he just had to get his mind right and had the perfect run. I ended up nearly last at one point, but Huey and I were scouting for the same runs, and I was lucky enough to get a run between them, and mate, once he got daylight, he launched at him. He was really good.
And Joe Pride
delivered after going so close in this race in the past.
Yeah, look, he's the 1,000-metre horse in this field, and if he hadn't sort of got there today, it was going to be a worry about when he was going to kind of beat these kind of horses. So, but explosive finish there today. Corey held him up beautifully. Corey's ridden more winners for me than any other jockey, and he's been in Singapore for the last 3 years. So we've got a fantastic combination. I don't bother giving him instructions. He knows exactly what. From an outside barrier, watch that ride, it was a gem.
So take me through your emotions as you were
cleared. So, yeah, that fantastic thrill and a lot of hard work goes into it, Lee that looks after him, both the whole team. Just very grateful to, be here at Flemington winning a Group 1. You can't beat that.
What's the plan ahead for him now?
I was thinking my headline, you always ask me for it. Danny Russell, a very talented sports editor of the Sunday Herald Sun, he nailed it with House of Terror in today's paper, but I had a better one at 3:57 a.m. this morning. Frightening lightning, and that's what it was. That's the way it played out. I will go through all the tape and talk about it, but it was really scary stuff there, and it really did set the template for the race.
And in many ways, it's the great win of Terra Vista might have been slightly lost on it. Brent Zarafa, you were there, and drama aplenty.
I was, and I was standing next to Joe Pride watching the race, and he kept very, very silent until basically the last stride, and then screamed, "Go Terra Vista," like he knew right on the line that he'd got there. And this is his second Group 1 win. Darley Classic some time ago when he beat Chautauqua, and look, Joe's been pretty vocal.
His 11th career Group 1 for Joe Pride. Terra Vista gets his second and narrowly defeats Spieth, this super talented horse who's trained by our special guest in Bryce Hayes. So close, my friend, yet so far.
Once again, and that's pretty much sums it up, Richo, so close but yet so far. But look, fortunately he's pulled up well, and thanks for having us here this morning.
Gee, I tell you what, your boy...
as I say, it's sort of been a really 12-month plan getting into the Darley last year to sort of warrant giving them a prep towards a Lightning in a new market, and we were pretty happy with them going into yesterday, and just sort of thought it might only be the 1,000 metres, and it probably was the congestion of the 1,000 metres that might have been a different result, but full credit to the winning connections.
We can see a few horses here, Flying Artie, head in the air. One of the others, Heatherly, just ran with too much energy, and this is all traces back to what happened in the barriers, which we'll look at later. What thwarted you, as much as anything else, was just a 14 out of 10 from Corey Brown on Terra Vista. He got the cover, and it was just a late dive through from both, and it so easily could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Definitely could have, Matty. I was watching it live. I certainly thought Terra Vista got it just because I saw the orange colours coming, and I just knew he had the unimpeded run in terms of the momentum flashing at the line, and certainly thought, here we go again in terms of what's happened at the line. And look, you and I disagree. I thought sort of probably what was more telling on my horse was what contributed to Flying Artie racing ungenerously at the start of the race. You watched the replay of the race there in terms of where we were in positioning, and to where Hugh had to sort of take hold and sort of just hand up to let Damien go in front. That was probably more telling in terms of where we've been running for the post, in my opinion.
So what was Hugh's thought on that? He was planned now. You've got 3 weeks to the new market. Is that a race that it seems the obvious target? Is that where you want to go with him now?
Oh, look, it's logical. We sort of had him ready there. Weights, you know.
So the Joe Pride was, you're looking at a nominal top weight. He was talking up running, wasn't he, Sarah?
Well, and the potential of whether Chautauqua does go there or whether he goes towards unlikely at this stage. You'd imagine he'd head towards Stakes and then on to a George Ryder, because his rating
caused a bit of a kerfuffle for about 5 minutes there, but it's not the ideal thing into a big Group 1 with 3 late scratchings, that's for sure. But it was an interesting race with the old SF stood up 1, 2, 3.
Let's go to the replay. Terra Vista Duff had been there to this track and distance, the 1,000 metres at Flemington twice. He was nutted by Chautauqua in the Lightning last year. He was nutted by Red Zell in the Mum Stakes during the Spring Carnival. But finally, Group 1 victory is Terra Vista's.
Yeah, look, Joe, full credit to him. He knows his horses like the back of his hand. He's had faith in this horse, and deservedly so all the way through. But he hasn't won for about 400 or 500 days, I reckon. And it was a lovely ride by Corey, who'll give him a lot of confidence coming into an autumn carnival. Spieth, should he have won?
Should he have gone the inside, Duff?
Well, it's easy after the ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
It was a tight run that he was waiting for there. He gets a clip over the accidental clip across the nose. Yeah, look, surely his day's coming, Spieth. He looked all over a winner there, start term, when he dashed. I thought, look, there was some... They're just farcical. Look, they're just farcical races
ridiculous,
down the straight.
aren't they?
Can someone actually ride a 1,000-metre race down the straight? You know, like this is like a sprint home 600-metre race. So they're very hard to read. The 3-year-old Flying Artie, well... He didn't know whether he was Arthur and Martha. He hasn't had that sort of tightening in races ever.
No.
So,
but you would have thought with a horse like Heather.
Feature of the day here at Rosehill Gardens, race 5, the Tab Silver Slipper Stakes over 1,100 metres, and She Will Reign, the short price favourite at $1.40. We'll get to her in a moment, but we'll start with Veronillo. Duff, for you, Glenn.
Absolutely no worries about taking the shorts this, Greg. In fact, 80% of the money invested on the race today is on She Will Reign, who has firmed up from $1.50 to $1.35 today. How do you think the punters...
Here in the Silver Slipper, the 1,100-metre dash is underway and She Will Reign has missed the start. The favourite is back last, She Will Reign, and Mystic Empire jumped well, so did Veronillo, and Lucky Louis between them in third, followed by Showtime, Lights, Khan. Who would have forecast this? The hot favourites last, She Will Reign. Mystic Empire leads, Veronillo's pretty keen up in second, and the pace is pretty good. 2 further back to Showtime, Lucky Louis. 2 further back to Lights, She Will Reign's hunting through on the fence, and Khan is back last with it. Coming to the turn, Mystic Empire leads by a half on Veronillo. Showtime third from Lucky Louis. She Will Reign is hunting through on the inside, and she's picking up ground very, very quickly. Mystic Empire from Veronillo. She Will Reign, though, moves up on the inside to join the leaders. Then Showtime and Khan from further back. The $20,000 filly. She Will Reign heads off Veronillo. Khan's not in the race. She Will Reign 100 metres to run, showing no signs of stopping. It didn't exactly go to script, but bang, what a win that was. She Will Reign beats Veronillo. Showtime third. Good margin back to Lucky Louis. Mystic Empire, Khan and Lights. The whole race got the crowd right on the edge of their seats, and she's done it.
Well, they were out of their seats down here. They were standing and cheering. And the circumstances has made that win all the better and all the more sweeter. And now we know she can do it up in front, and she can do it from last. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, look, it was heart in your mouth stuff there for a long way. And even when she...
know what you're thinking. I actually came here thinking, I bet this misses a start today. So much expectation on, and she half missed a start in the English race. So she's so relaxed. I've got a feeling that on race day she actually goes into a bit of a trance or something, you know. She looks really quiet, and the gate's open, she just stood there, and we see what she does at track work, and we know she's got to turn her foot. It's just a matter of having something like that happen today to show us that she can come from behind. So she's got plenty of arsenal there, hasn't she, you know?
It must.
Cool, calm, collected. She's just a blessing to us. And I've got to thank the Derby boys for considering me to train the horse. I feel sorry.
$1.35 favourite. Veronello solid. Showtime's got a lot of upside. Khan was the huge disappointment. But the story of the race was at the barrier. And we have a look at this. Here is a horse that has always just bounced out. Bang. Ben Melham. And the $1.35 suddenly looked like, uh-oh, what is going on here?
And then he tried to quicken, but then realised he was going to be stuck between some horses where he probably didn't want to be, and elected to then come back and just wait. And a ride from Ben Melham that was very well calculated after what had happened. Because
he didn't have many other options but to do what he did.
No, but you could see plenty of jockeys.
What was the bad version of that?
Potentially panicking and driving it forward.
Correct.
And doing too much on this horse. But look, it helps when you're driving a Ferrari. You can make those options and then you're made to look good post it because she's a little Ferrari, isn't she?
How does it translate to the Golden Slipper, though? I see the TAB reacted quickly. $3 favourite with how many weeks to go? That's... If Brenton Avdulla said something interesting after, he said, well, she wouldn't want to do that in the Golden Slipper.
That's right. You can't afford to make
and run into 13 Ferraris in front of her.
But there's no doubting her talent. There's the market. 350 is very, very short, considering what can happen with barrier draws and whatnot between just
getting from here to there, to the race, you know.
Potentially to have one more run in the Riesling 2 weeks before the Golden.
Well, as you know, in going into big races, but not at one point did I think she was going to get beat, believe it or not. I just thought, you know, she travelled, in particular after she's gone 100 metres and she didn't go, you know, taking off and over racing. I just know what she's got over the tank, and it was, and she got all the luck. Obviously, the horse was racing off the fence. She was able to cut through on the inside and get a lot of luck. But she's got that ability to do that, and it was weird. It was just like she finally stood up and showed what we see at track work.
Well, I think. The Golden Slipper, well, she's short now. She's getting right into $3. I think they reacted and made a $5 and then back into $3 shortly after. So it's the girl. She will reign in front of Hootson.
Yeah, look, personally, I think it's poison odds until after the Riesling. That's where she's going to tell me if she's the real thing. I wanted to see more time from her yesterday. I know it's hard to do once you miss the start. The story of the race is Khan, who's been slipper favourite all the way through. He did absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. They're chasing their tail with him. I know.
Vice specialist. Number 1 is Prized Icon. How does the Derby winner look, guys?
Look, he looks in fantastic order. He's got a lovely skin on him. Look, he looks in fantastic order. He's got a lovely skin on him.
Look, I'm going to go with Man from Uncle. I think he looked really good today. He really looks like mentally he's matured a little bit from that first up performance. He's
the bolter of the field here. I just think he's getting his opportunity, just fitness-wise, third up 1400.
Coming into the home straight here in pretty heavy rain, if the radar's right, because it's right on Parramatta as we speak. Let's go to Glen Munro.
I can tell you we're bathed in sunshine down here. We seem to be dodging all this activity. But coming through just a fraction easy late. Now to $3.90. You're looking at $3.80. I can tell you it's $3.90. Man from Uncle's hovered around the $5.50, $6 mark all day. He's $5.50. Prized Icon got easy, $4.80. Has got to $16 now. The $3.
Set for the quaddie, they're off in the Group 2, and coming through was one of the first into stride from Echo Effect, and Man from Uncle rolls up into a 3-wide position. Brynish with the blinkers on in the back of the speed, followed by Inference on the outside of last one. Echo Effect, an undisputed leader at the 600 metres by 3 on Man from Uncle. Coming through, relaxed in third, followed by Prized Icon, who's covered a bit of ground. On the outside of Brynish, then Villadero. Further back to Inference, then Akatur, and on the spot is the last one. 400 a run. Echo Effect holds a healthy lead. Coming through, Prized Icon, Man from Uncle, all giving chase. And then Inference on the outside. Echo Effect still in front. 200 metres to run. Coming through, and Man from Uncle digging in. Echo Effect's taking some running down. Man from Uncle, he's surging now. Man from Uncle goes to Echo Effect. It's going to be close. They headed. Close one here. Man from Uncle dives at Echo Effect. He might have just got up on the outside. Coming through third. Then Brynish. Further back then to Akatur from Inference. Prized Icons covered ground from Villadero. And on the spot was the last one to finish.
Man from Uncle, has he got there? Looks as though he's got the lunge in, and they hit the line. Oh, the inside is there. No, the outside. Oh. that low shot, it lost.
Doubt about it. Yeah, the two stayers went well there. Prized Icon and the Inference, they both went well considering.
Testing scenario would be to his benefit, but Man from Uncle is going particularly well for Anthony Cummings, and I understand there's been some significant money offers for this horse that have been continued to knock back, and we saw last year similar time with Montaigne. Anthony Cummings had that 3-year-old who then was eventually sold to Hong Kong for big money, and I understand there's a lot circling trying to poach this horse to potentially take him overseas. Whether he stays here or whether he goes deeper on into the campaign, I'm not quite sure, but he's going to be the one to beat, you'd imagine, in the Randwick Guineas in 2 weeks' time.
Isn't he a funny track?
He is. Oh, he's 2 from 2 now. This was an on-pace race, 1, 2, 3 the whole way. Fought this finish out, but a nice ride. He just stalked them, collared. He stalked the leader there in Echo Effect, who did a good job after getting control. And look, it took him a while to get the job done, but that's exactly what happened with him at Randwick first up. He just kept chipping away, and just shows a little bit of desire late. So every indications are that he could stretch it out to the Randwick Guineas at a mile. Coming through, I liked him as in the fact that first up he was very sluggish and didn't want to take part. At least he showed a lot more desire there yesterday and travelled a lot better. I think he's on target for the Randwick Guineas, but he's got that boom on him and expectation. I think most thought he was going to go past them yesterday, but I think it was just run of the race stuff. Second up from a spell, and there's probably a little bit more to come, but not as dominant. We thought he was just going to come out and dominate these 3-year-olds early in the preparation.
And when he sat, very close to the speed, we sort of, I think we'll stand next to each other and we said, look, Jesus, this could be his day. He's back into it, and he just didn't finish off. Duff, do you think the pennies dropped?
Horse with a run under with that distance run under its belt, and Mela Boia, number 7 with the blinkers on, certainly is the best of the doubles figure horses. 11, 2, 6 and 7.
Okay, it's $9 earlier today, but $5 each all morning, and it has been raining all morning into the afternoon here at Royal Randwick. It seems like it's coming in sideways. They're over behind the gates. Some of these.
The Vale, Edgar Britt, Sweet Embrace Stakes, and we're ready to run. Stand by for a start, and they're off and racing. Looks as though Arctic Angel has got away well from the outside draw. Yes, it has. Teaspoon and Greater Good. They're pretty quickly into stride, followed by back in the field. Will be the widest as they straighten and exceeds us, hunting through on the fence. Arctic Angel hard pressed on the Rouse leads from Torval in second, then One More Honey. Teaspoon down the outside, and further back to Exceeds, making ground, but Arctic Angel skips away at the 200 metres. One More Honey to second, then Torval and Teaspoon. Nothing else a chance. Arctic Angel in front of One More Honey, who's coming with a late run now. Arctic Angel's on jelly legs, and One More Honey right over the top wins the Sweet Embrace. One More Honey's won it. Now Teaspoon's lunged at Arctic Angel. My goodness, it could not pick its feet up, and it's in a desperate photo for second. Then Torval from Smooth Landing and Sabatiano. Further back to Exceeds, Delago Thunder, Greater Good. The last two in Melabia and Song Like have not got through the conditions.
Well, John Thompson sent 4 runners into that race. One More Honey gets the money. The Victorian filly, Arctic Angel, she just took those little steps close to the post.
Yeah, she
just been. Here's Bernadette.
All right, thanks for that, Greg.
And geldings in such atrocious conditions, they wouldn't have known what hit them yesterday.
No, exactly right. But and Barrier 1 was probably gold here for One More Honey. But look, she was a city winner coming into this race. When the Melbourne filly sprinted Arctic Angel here, you would have thought, oh, this is all over. She'll take some running down here. But she really felt the pinch the last 40 metres or so. And this tough filly just sucking up there from Barrier 1 has last look. And she was just too tough and too strong. Whether I highly doubt it's golden slipper form, but who knows? It might work out to be form okay for longer races, like the Sires and Champagne later on.
Yeah, and obviously if we get a wet track anywhere along the way, particularly, it doesn't look like we're going to get a dry track this weekend, does it, Duff? But no. If we happen to have a dry track for the next 2 weeks in the qualifiers and Karma Golden Slipper and it turns up a bog, then maybe we've got some hope with these horses. But I thought Teaspoon was
pretty good,
given that wasn't a place to be. But as you say, all honours with the winner.
Yeah, Teaspoon was good. She's just a real little trier, and so as it turns out,
for John Thompson and Jay Ford in the Sweet Embrace, and the boys take to the track here in the Skyline Stakes. Group 2, over 1,200 metres.
Horses out wide just seem to be a couple of lengths off the speed here so far today.
OK, not the times are going to...
They're off and racing, and the favourite Dracarys Single Bullet have jumped away well from their wide draws. Coruscate's right there with Diamond Tathagata poking right through the centre, followed by All Day on the fence. Now Berry's taken hold, and Eden Rock just camping behind the leading last one. Racing to the turn, and All Day boots up on the inside to join Coruscate. Diamond Tathagata's yielding ground. Single Bullet the outside. A couple further back to Eden Rock is being roused along, and so's Dracarys up the rise. And Coruscate leads from Single Bullet. Diamond Tathagata's getting its second win. Eden Rock's labouring. So's Dracarys. It's Coruscate the leader. 150 out. Diamond Tathagata is sticking on gamely. Coruscate just in front of Diamond Tathagata. Single Bullet. Coruscate's all out. Diamond Tathagata got it. In the last hop, Diamond Tathagata was able to worry Coruscate out of it. Eden Rock really revved up late to grab third. Then Single Bullet, Dracarys and Colesberg. Further back to All Day, Souffront, and Ephesium was the last one to finish.
Well, have a look at the form and have a look at the prices on the fluctuations. 13 to 9. Only starts second at Randwick on a heavy 8 behind She Will Reign. And Diamond Tathagata has got up to defeat Coruscate. Duff, I'm down here on the finish line. Well done to Mark. We'll catch up with Mark a little bit later. We're off to Brisbane. Here's Bernie.
Yeah, and he looks he looks a real colt for the future as well. I don't know whether he's a golden slipper type, but I suppose it's the right thing to do with a strong horse like this, just to keep him fresh. And now that he's qualified, why not have a go at the slipper in case we get a wet track? He's qualified for it. Looks more of a size Champagne horse to me. I know we keep saying that, but he's tough. His first start in a race, he was destroyed by She Will Reign, which is understandable, but at least he's gone for a little breakdown. He's come back, and he looks pretty good. Coruscate looks a certainty when it sprinted there, but geez, he rallied hard, and you have to admire him in the last bit. I thought Single Bullet was terrific there. He was four deep, no cover. Wrong part of the track, loomed up. I want to give him another chance on a dry track. There's no doubt about it. And I think this is where it was evident that the fence was the go. Eden Rock's going nowhere until he ducks back inside that lane, and then all of a sudden he takes off. And away he goes. He comes nearly pinches third again after looking a beaten horse. So I think obviously there was a little bit of bias on that track yesterday.
Yeah.
Rain getting a little heavier. It's back again here at Randwick as they prepare for the Surround Stakes. Our Manning Yard brought to you by Harvey Norman, your student devices specialist.
Off and racing, and Louboutin jumped best. Louboutin in front in the early part, but Global Glamour's going to muster through on the rails and join it. Pumpkin Pie's right with them, and French Fern Parks in fourth as I go. The first furlong of the race. Cezanne is next from Le Bella Diosa. Then came Zenna on the inside of Cezanne. Further back to Zenalicious, starting a run 3 wide. Sprite's tight for room. Now back in the field, Ome Swords coming one off together with Fox Play. At the 550 and Global Glamour, a couple off the running rail leads from French Fern. Le Bella Diosa's pinching plenty of ground. Cezanne's going with her. Further back to Pumpkin Pie. Then Sprite towards the inside. Back in the field is Louboutin. Ome Sword still last. Here we go. Global Glamour's gone to the middle of the track. But the New Zealand filly, La Bella Diosa, races to the lead. Hard pressed on the inside. Global Glamour is trying to come back. La Bella Diosa a length and a half clear from Global Glamour. Ome Sword is rattling home late. La Bella Diosa's flat out, but she's going to win the Surround. La Bella Diosa first. I think Ome Sword just grabbed second in front of Global Glamour. Good margin back to Louboutin and Fox Play. Further back to Cezanne, then Zenalicious. From Sprite, Pumpkin Pie and French Fern was last to finish.
Well, it's like going back in time, backing a Kiwi on a heavy track. La Bella Diosa, a Group 1 winner in New Zealand of the New Zealand 1,000 Guineas, and a Group 2 winner in Australia of the Surround Stakes, ridden by Jason Collett. So it's an all-Kiwi connect.
To beat what we call good fillies and beat them pointlessly, considering she's on an Oaks path. That was strong, strong, strong. Good performance. She's back. She's back, Ome Sword. She's exciting, very exciting. Global Glamour went out hard again. It certainly took her a toll on her late. Cezanne's run better.
Trained in New Zealand at Rangiora by Mandy and Matt Brown, and Jason Collett, another Kiwi on board.
Yeah, look, she's obviously she's a pretty smart filly. I'd looked at a barrier trial in New Zealand at the end of January before she come over here, and I thought, well, she won't keep up here. She might run a good 5th or 6th. But look at this, she ploughed through the going. She was in touch with them on straightening up. I don't know, for the life of me, I don't know why some of these blokes wanted to get out wide here. There was no evidence in the wide world to get out there. If Ome Sword stays on the inside in this race and follows the winner, I've got no doubt she wins. To think that you could get double figures a horse of her calibre in a race like that and not get paid out, it just makes me sick. Anyway, that's a personal speak through your pocket thing as well, but... she is an outstanding filly, Ome Sword, believe me.
Yeah, she'll be right on track, maybe towards a Doncaster, who knows, we'll see what
about a Coolmore Classic second up?
Coolmore Classic, Doncaster, who knows.
Yeah, good. Global Glamour did her thing.
Ross David. For the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes, and there she is, rain, hail or shine. Winks makes a stunning figure in the mounting yard. Hugh Bowman about to step out to jump on board. Number 9, Winks, on track $1.10. Bookies drifting her out to $1.20. The call has been 110, 116, 118, now 120. Winks in the Chipping Norton.
It's only the great uncertainty of racing and the conditions on offer here today. Look, she's on her way to $10 million. Everyone's enjoying the ride. Let's just hope that continues.
Yeah, well, what more?
Only today, with this track being deteriorating and getting now to a heavy 9, has she got from that $1.10 out to $1.20, and got to that very, very quickly, because she was still $1.10 when the first markets on course went up. In fact, and you're looking at $1.20. I can tell you she's $1.22. Hartnell's a $6.50 chance. Then we go to Endless Drama, not contesting the race. And I can tell you in that market, Hartnell's $1.35, and this is a win and place market. Endless Drama.
Mighty Mare home and off they go. Tavago missed the starter, and Winks jumped out midfield. Endless Drama hopped out on the bridle at lead from Libran. Lasquetti Spirits being hard pushed the outside, looking for the lead. Magic Hurricane Parks just behind, and Abdullah's going forward on Hartnell. 3 wide in the early part. Winks is right behind, followed by Who Shot the Barman in the early stages. Then Grand Marshal from Libran just underneath Hartnell, then Who Shot the Barman. Winks is back 4th last, followed then by Grand Marshal from Preferment, and Tavago's the last one. 800 metres to run. It's Lasquetti Spirit, the Victorian Oaks winner, making play from Endless Drama in second. Then Magic Hurricane from Hartnell, further back to Libran. Who Shot the Barman, the rails. Winks is up on the outside, stalking Hartnell, coming to the turn. Further back to Grand Marshal, Tavago and Preferment. He pulls to the passing lane on Winks as they round the corner. Lasquetti Spirit in front of Endless Drama, but Winks moves straight up on the outside. She went straight past Hartnell. Then Magic Hurricane, Who Shot the Barman and Libran. They've got 200 metres to run. He hasn't even pushed the button on the Mighty Mare Winks, and she's really starting to pull away. Lasquetti Spirit, Who Shot the Barman, Magic Hurricane. Oh, isn't she great to watch? Back-to-back wins in the Chipping Norton. It's been won by some of the legends, and that she is. Winks by 2 lengths. Lasquetti Spirit, a huge run second. Who Shot the Barman third, then Magic Hurricane. Tavago's made good ground. Then Libran from Grand Marshal. Well, Hartnell hasn't got through the conditions. Then Endless Drama, and Preferment was last of all.
Well, that's what champions do. That's exactly what champions do. They win in all types of conditions. They win on good tracks. They win on bottomless tracks like we're seeing here at Randwick today. And she has raced away to score one of her greatest triumphs The weather gods were not with...
Never going to leave that back until he was had nothing more to offer, and that was before the turn. And look at that. That's as soft as you like. How good was Lasquetti's Spirit there, fighting on particularly well into second spot.
That track, what were you thinking about her and this Chipping Norton Stakes today?
Look, nothing really changed. Conditions are fair, you know, it is a wet track, but the conditions are fair, so that's when you start to get sort of bias with wind or track bias and these sorts of things that I start to worry, and that's what we had Cox Plate Day in Melbourne with a really strong wind. So today the conditions are even, they're fair. Yes, sure they're wet, but I think the last time she idled down that quickly was on a really firm track at Caulfield. So look, she got the job done, but you know she's most effective on good ground.
So considering
$201, and Who Shot the Barman running third at $101. If you took Winks Field, you would have picked up $1,000 for the trifecta.
Wins in the Chipping Norton. It's been won by some of the legends, and that she is.
And Huey Bowman never asked her for the supreme effort. She is 2 for 2 this preparation, and you could argue strongly she's going as good as she's ever gone.
Well, when they pulled out at the 500 and Hartnell was in front of her and he started to make his run and Huey was just creeping up on the outside, and then he just started to look back to the inside again, and he put her away. She put him away so quickly. Obviously, he wasn't up to his best there yesterday, but she just does it with absolute ease. It's quite amazing.
And when they're truly invincible, there's nothing you can throw at them that they can't encounter. Like the wet track that Chris Waller was worried about, as it turns out, she just said, Chris, please. I'm Winks.
But that must have been, and you touched on it, and here they are walking the track again, and Chris did this on a number of occasions. This must have been a huge decision. I know, Brent, you're saying, it's a racehorse, but she's going for 15 in a row, and she is now the people's horse. She's not Deb and Peter and then...
Yes. And Chris knew that too. In today's paper, he's quoted as saying, I didn't want to pick up the paper tomorrow. Because he'd already pulled her out twice at Randwick in the last year and a half, right, from when conditions went right. If he'd done it one more time, I think in the back of Chris Waller's mind, he would have thought, am I mollycoddling a champion? Is she mollycoddling?
But he's just looking after the
I've got no issue with him scratching in the morning and suggesting, OK, look, we don't want to go there today. The fact that you get there on the day, walk out on the track, look and go, oh, look, sorry, guys.
And look how little concern
everyone else has to go out
just have a look at it.
I know, but that's wonderful in hindsight, Matty, but I'm just saying, walk in the other man's shoes, put yourself in his shoes. This would have been a tough call. Like Peter Moody at Royal Ascot.
There weren't potholes in the track, there weren't crocodiles on the track. It was a race track.
100% agree with that, but it was also... it was
sharks on the betting ring.
It was a factor in the race. It was a different condition that...
Yeah, I know, but I think we respect champions who are thrown to the... Like Black Caviar was thrown at Royal Ascot, you know, Farlap was thrown at Agua Caliente. Like the added risk factor is what makes them great.
You can't go across to London and pick up the Longines Best Racehorse of the Year award and then say, oh, look, sorry guys, a bit too wet here for me at Randwick.
I know that. I'm just saying, don't underestimate how tough of a call it was. And that's why he was so emotional.
That would have been a good forum. His duck qualities, maybe his...
Oh, I agree.
And I reckon he over-revved, he was wide, and I reckon he was just too intent on going yesterday, Hartnell, and he just fell in over.
He has absolutely destroyed most of that field yesterday in the past. Like Who Shot the Barman, he's destroyed Magic Hurricane. I think it's fair to say that he was not at his best yesterday.
Where is he now, though?
That's her 10th Group 1. Sorry, she goes alongside Rough Habit Noctagonal. She wins next start. She's up eyeballing Lonhro, and So You Think. And then in the Queen Elizabeth, she's next to the Great Man. So the Queen and the Man will be together on 12 Group 1s.
When, at what point in the next 6 months do you jump on board the she's the best we've seen bandwagon?
Well, it's just like comparing Usain Bolt and Mo Farah, like her and Black Caviar.
Who's Mo Farah?
The guy that won the 5,000, 10,000 back-to-back Olympics.
No, but they're not that far apart, these two, as far as competitors. Oh, you know,
look, she was just a dead-set sprinter, Black Caviar.
But we have these conversations all the time.
Girl stop comparing.
Well, I think she's the best horse I've seen, Australasian horse.
And that's what we love about you. You're willing to say that she's the best you've ever seen.
Not the boldest claim in the world.
On a post-race.
She's unbelievable, simple as that. Certainly not her biggest win, but it was a tough day. Came so close to scratching her. So we made the right decision.
We sure did. Must really be a very...
Like, under any conditions, she's the champion that everyone thought she was. Ron Dufficy and Nick Ashman were there in the rain. What a day, boys.
An incredible day. It was a bit ugly with the weather and was hard work for the horses as well. And look, you said it all, Greg. The champions that overcome all obstacles that you said, wet or dry, weight for age or handicaps. And I read a tweet last night from some punters there saying, everything about her is a champion.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's just doing it over a range of distances as well. And you just go to the races so confident she's going to get the job done when they come around the corner.
Testing track.
Well, once he found Hartnell's back and got her travelling through that going, it was all over. And the most surprising thing is Hartnell didn't tag her into the race at all. He was you would have to say, nearly the first horse beaten there, and he was the horse that had the wet track ability to his credit. So away she goes. It wasn't her most brilliant win. It was tradesman-like. It was one of those tracks where it was testing, and she probably felt it. But knew he was just easy on her late there. Lasquetti Spirit was fantastic there. It was an enormous run from him. I should say.
It was huge stuff, yeah. Look, Hartnell had some excuses, didn't he? He was track wide and...
Any problems with her, she's just so adaptable, as we said earlier. Doesn't matter, wet, dry, slowly run, speed on. She gets herself out of trouble. We've seen her get out of trouble so many times when she does find trouble in her races. So she's just a complete package.
She's gone past Far Lap. She's equal with Burnborough and Carbine. They're immortals that we're talking about, winning streaks in different eras, but she's now approaching $10 million. And it's onwards to the George Ryder and then the Queen Elizabeth. And the markets are there for the Queen Elizabeth, and we might get that market up now, Nick. How short is she?
$1.35 with tab.com.au. Greg, and of course she's, at this stage anyway, she's only having the one more run. You think she'd go out at $1.10 in that, and look, assuming she wins the George Ryder Stakes, what price stuff in the Security Stakes? Blackheart Bart has been odds on throughout. $1.95 is the price currently. Good money though for Turn Me Loose, $5 at this stage of betting. Valentino $7.50 is the only other one in.
Futurity Stakes over 1,400 metres at Caulfield, and Blackheart Bart, one of the great stories of Australian racing, is the dominant favourite. Victorian official price at $1.95 and steady. Turn Me Loose $5.50 into $5. Palantino $7.
The Futurity. Ecuador jumped a length in front of the field. Palantino at the back early. Blackheart Bart has jumped okay. He's fourth. So it's Ecuador in front. Quickly moving to second now as Attention. 2 lengths Turn Me Loose is third. They're followed Chosen Stardom on the inside of Blackheart Bart. And about a length away, Here's Our Rocky, followed by Palantino, Lucky Hustler. And at the end of the field, Fast and Rocking, less than 1,000 metres to go. And Ecuador, after that brilliant beginning, shows the way. Attention a length away, second, a length and a half. Third then is Turn Me Loose, followed by Chosen Stardom. He's right up there, fourth on the inside, a length in front of the favourite Blackheart Bart, who's 5 away from the leader, being followed by Here's Our Rocky, Palantino, Lucky Hustler and Fast and Rocking. Ecuador's been dictating it a bit mid-term. 600 to go, led by Neck. Attention second, Turn Me Loose 2 lengths away from Chosen Stardom, 1.5 to Blackheart Bart, 4 off the leader, followed Here's Our Rocky, Palantino, Lucky Hustler and Fast and Rocking. So Ecuador coming around the turn. Attention right there with him. Then Turn Me Loose. Rawilla's pulled out on the Blackheart Bart on the yellow sleeves now. Chosen Stardom not far away as well. Attention took Ecuador at the 200. Blackheart Bart starting to wind up, but Chosen Stardom's coming with him. Chosen Stardom in the middle moved up and took the lead. Blackheart Bart has to lift. Chosen Stardom just in front. Blackheart diving. Oh, gee, that's close. Chosen Stardom, Blackheart Bart in a photo from Ecuador. Attention stayed on well then, Lucky Hustler, followed by Here's Our Rocky, Turn Me Loose, Palantino, Fast and Rocking. A fabulous photo here.
What a race. Darren Weir quinelling it. We're waiting for official word. Blackheart Bart will get it. Blackheart Bart will get it by the narrowest possible margin. Number one, Blackheart Bart at $1.90 was the Victorian official price. He's paid $1.70 and $1.20 on the tote. He'll narrowly defeat Chosen Stardom. A terrific first up run, also trained by Darren Weir. And he flew the gates, set the tempo, and has been swallowed up late by 2 class horses. And fourth has gone to the 3-year-old Attention, who's run out of his...
Luke Warrior, he just digs in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's a winner. What I'm happy about today is... for some reason, he seems to always win 1 second, so nice to get John in with him. All his defeats have all been
$3.4 million, and there's probably more to come.
Yeah, what a ride the owners have had, eh? And you know, I have to thank the previous trainer for looking after him so well and come over to us a really sound well horse, and we were just the lucky trainer to get him. He's just a great horse, and five Group 1s is an unbelievable horse.
He's 4 from 4 here over the 1400 metres at Caulfield, and that's the third Group 1 over that trip. The fight he had to show there to
back-to-back Group 1s, trying to win his 23rd career Group 1 with a horse who's as tough as teak. And I reckon, Brent, about here we're thinking perfect spot, but then there was a scenario top of the straight where I thought, gee, he might be in trouble here, Bart.
Yeah, and the stablemate's obviously gone very, very well in Tosin Stardom, who was nice and fresh for this event. Group 1 would have been a significant increase to his value.
That would have been a huge
stallion.
story.
But the power of Blackheart Bart, he's got to the outside of Turn Me Loose, who didn't really sort of drag him into the races. Probably Brad was anticipating. You can see that he had to really get busy because he would know as good as anyone how strong a horse Tosin Stardom is back to his inside. But the roar of the crowd in this last 50 metres when Blackheart Bart began to surge, it's just as everyone knew he was going to get there.
I watched it in the mounting yard, and I'm a bit of a Tosin Stardom fan, so as much as everyone else was watching Blackheart Bart, and I half was too, I was also watching Tosin Stardom thinking, yeah, this is going to be game on here, and good on Bradbury. Well, that jolted me, that 3 minutes that we just saw then, with the way he appeared and how...
Blackheart Bart just does what Blackheart Bart does.
That's exactly right, and what he does, he wins, and he wins more often than not. He's just a tremendous old horse, isn't he? He's just a born winner. You think he's hitting a flat spot here, and at one stage here when Tosin Stardom, who'd never had a run at 1400, mind you, when he burst through here, you think, well, he's got to be last man standing here, but he wasn't. Bart just stuck that big head out of his, and he has a go and savages the line. He was very good, Tosin Stardom. There. There's something in him.
That's 2 good runs now since he's joined Wiz.
I don't know what Darren's thinking with him. Whether he's thinking he's a Queen Elizabeth horse even, I don't know.
He's trimmed up for the Queen Elizabeth.
Okay, so whether he wants to take on Winks or get a softer option there, whatever they decide, that's a second preparation for Darren now, and I'm expecting him to win a big race, placed right there. Ecuador, well, what could you say about Ecuador? He's as brave as they come. He stayed at 1400.
One of the great administrators here at the Melbourne Racing Club, Peter Young, of course, spent a long time as chairman of the club. The Crown Lager Peter Young Stakes, weight for age over 1800 metres. Jamaica is the favourite for Kieran Maher, $3.40. Humidor at $5. Stratum Star for Darren Weir at $5.50. Tom Melbourne at $7.
He just comes back into $3.60 now. Humidor $5.50. Stratum Star has gone $7.50 into $6, but did touch $5.
In the Peter Young, starters caught them well, and the United States first out with Stratum Star, Tally, Humidor in the green colours. Mourinho coming over. Jamaica is in the first half a dozen as they settle fully into stride now. And the United States in front, but not really wanting it. And here's Mourinho coming over at the 1400 metres to have a peep for the lead, and Will Fox side of Joe Moreira. And Exospherics at the end of the field. So Mourinho leads now as they go to the railway side, less than 1,000 to go. Jamaica's been caught a little bit deep for much of the journey, and now Nolan's let her stride, and she's up outside Mourinho at the half mile. Stratum Star 2 lengths away. The United States is now fourth the inside from Real Love Telly. Then came Awesome Rock and Humidor, about 8 from the leader on the outside. Then Tom Melbourne, El Moonquith, Exospheric at the end. Mourinho at the 500, led by a length Jamaica. 2 lengths away, Stratum Star. The United States has had a dream run. Here's Real Love coming around. Tally, Awesome Rock and Humidor getting into the clear. Round the turn, and Mourinho narrowly. Jamaica just about got him. Stratum Star peels off her back, and then Real Love. The United States is going to get an inside run here, and then Humidor. Jamaica took over at the 200 from Mourinho. Stratum Star a danger, and the United States on the far side. Stratum Star raced up now to Jamaica. Humidor starting to flash over the United States down on the inside. Stratum Star's hit the front. He's won it. Stratum Star held from Humidor. The United States might get third. Jamaica had a tough run. She's run fourth, and then came Real Love. Oh, Exospheric got home nicely. Followed closely in the field then by Tally, and then came Tom Melbourne and Awesome Rock, and Al Moonquith back towards the rear.
Oh, Stratum Star, he does it again. Jane Ible's pick of the yard lands at $5.80, $2.40. Another feature race success to Darren Weir with Mark Zara in the saddle. He's an outstanding galloper. He's held off his stablemate Humidor, who's closed strongly $2. The United States, a terrific run, fresh on speed, up on the inside 260. And Jamaica, after doing a power of work earlier.
Older horses wait for age. Like, it's not like the young 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds.
That's next.
It's getting horses from everywhere else that he's transforming into top liners.
What about this horse? I mean, he's a future stallion now, this entire Stratum Star. He's won a Group 1 over 1,400 metres. He's won a Group 1 at 1,800 metres. Here he is once again over 1,800 metres. He was so good after winning the Magic Millions staying race. I love the run of Humidor. He hasn't put the gear on Humidor yet. He's waiting, isn't it?
But what about this horse, Stratum? So this is, again, the Weir factor, what he can do. This was a horse who was never going to get beyond 1,400 at one stage of his career. He was never going to get beyond a mile. Then he went to Perth, to the Gold Coast.
Won over 2,200 metres in the Gold Coast.
He's going as well now then as he was. I mean, all the things that other trainers are unable to achieve with horses, the travel and the getting them over more ground, he just ticks the boxes.
Well, Humidor is the leading contender now for the Australian Cup, but on the back of his last 2 runs, he took the approach of really getting stuck into the horse with the whip in the left hand, and he didn't respond to it. He said, so I went to the option this time of sort of less whip and just trying to ride him out with the right
brand.
What about the run of Exospheric as well? He was huge, fantastic from the back.
Jamaica, first impression, I was disappointed. I watched it again. She did a lot of work.
Early.
She was okay.
She was flat. She didn't have that same turn of foot that she showed first up when she was ridden out the back and allowed to hit the line. But
Real Love was another tick.
Here he is coming back and winning a decent race, the Group 2 Peter Young, the Old St George Stakes.
Just spoke about Bart, Blackheart Bart. This horse is in his shadow, but I wouldn't think the shadow was too long. He is an absolute iron horse. He travels. He puts himself there as well, and he has a go and digs in. He's a complete racehorse in his own right. The United States went well. Look, this Humidor is a nice horse, but he's got to learn to straighten up. You're not going to win Group 1s, wanting to hang in and not go straight. So I'd suggest he's got a bit of work to do to straighten this horse up. Every time I've seen him, he wants to hang in and not really flatten out and savage the line like his stablemates there. United States was great. Jamaica was a dead set total forgive. She was exposed 4 deep the whole way. She had to go forward. Nothing went right.
I thought Tally was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was very soft on the line, Craig Williams.
Available at one stage, $4.20, and now an equal favourite with Catchy, which has just firmed up the last couple of minutes, and they get both into that $4.20, which is a good push for the pair of them. Property, touch $5.50, back to $6. Formality has had supporters, goes to $7. Now Tulip, it's probably the second best backed overall today. There's been some good size bets, and $8 still available. Remuse $13, taking Aim $15. And Murahib $51, and the rest of them.
For the Group 1 Ladbrokes Blue Diamond Stakes, 1,200 metres for the 2-year-olds, worth $1.5 million in prize money. Victorian official price. The favourite here is Pariah, $4 out to $4.40. In fact, now being replaced by Catchy, $4.60 into $4.20. Horse number 1.
Right, guys, please. And they're off. Pariah jumped okay, away okay too in the early stages. Will's bit out wide on the course, and Formality was away flying. And in the early stages, going through as they settle down, Wait for No One does just that and leads from Formality. Property is third, and Pariah's handy on the outside of these horses, followed by Blondie. Behind these then came Remuse and Cao Cao on the inside from Murahib. They're followed by Will's bit, Catchy a long way back in the field with Taking Aim, Aspect and Sheer Madness. Wait for No One led Formality at the 600 metres. Pariah poised on the outside, followed Murahib and Property the rail. Then came Remuse, Tulip about 4 lengths away from the lead at the most, making ground, followed then by Will's bit round the outside. Blondie dropping out, and Catchy about 5 lengths to make up from Cao Cao. Into the straight, and Property trying for an inside run. Pariah came wide. They go to the lead from Formality. Wait for No One at the 200, and Property a narrow leader. Pariah coming after it. Pariah raced up. Formality's trying to go with it. Catchy leaving it late, but starting to fly home. Pariah the leader. Catchy starting to flash home. Pariah in front. Catchy got him. Catchy, the great filly, has got up and beaten Pariah. Formality's run third. Tulip next to over. They're followed behind those to finish by Property, who weakened late. Wait for no one. Murrah, who've been further back in the field. Remove South Sow and Taking Aim, followed by Aspect. Sheer Madness behind those to finish as Will's Bed and Blondie, one of the great finishes of the Blue Diamond, and Catchy's come from a minute back to win.
What an extraordinary filly she is. 4 starts, 4 wins. She gives David Hayes his 6th success in the Ladbrokes Blue Diamond Stakes, sharing it in partnership with his son David, his nephew Tom. An extraordinary performance. $4.70 at $1.80. Overwhelming Pariah at $1.70. Stablemate of the winner, Formality, in third, $3. Stablemate of the winner, Tulip, in fourth. What a race, 11, 4, 12, 13.
Deserved that. She's come from well back in the field, as Greg Miles said in the call. Craig Williams has got it right. He had a choice between so many runners in this. He stuck with Catchy, and she has produced
this race, and you've come out on top with Catchy, and you've won big two-year-old races all around the world, Craig. This is the first time you've won the Blue Diamond.
That's right, Sam. It's been really unfortunate for me that I've had really good two-year-olds throughout my whole career, and to win this race is great, and especially the season that we're having with all the top two.
You knew that when you wanted to round them up, she'd go for you.
We had 2 targets. It'd be great when you guys and Channel 7 get through there and go through and break down the race, and you work at the first target was Pariah. I wanted to get on the back of Blake Shin, who's eventual second horse. I couldn't do it. Ollie was very tactical. He came out, so then I lost my position, but I was very confident to ride the turn. But once I got into the straight, I could have been cut back in and followed Ollie back through, but I just thought if I get to the outside, she's done no work early, and asked to extend, and I really learned a lot from riding her last time when she won, and I was always mindful of just keeping the momentum going. And Felix Coetzee, I put it down as a Felix Coetzee ride the last little bit, but she's a really, really good horse.
Willow, it was an amazing...
Just for the one win by Magnus in the Galaxy, but they are really hard to win. You look at Craig Williams, he hadn't ridden a Blue Diamond winner in what's he been riding, 20 years?
That's right.
You know, it's hard.
Yeah, that was his 45th Group 1 victory, his first ever Diamond. Let's have a look at the Diamond first. And well, I tell you what, Catchy, what was going through your mind after they'd gone about 400 metres? You got about 800 to go. Gee, she was giving them a big start.
Oh, she was, yeah. What worried me is that she was being shuffled back, and she finished about 4th last at this point.
Just identify your colours here, Robert.
Yeah, the red and white checks with the red.
So you are. You're 4th last at the moment.
4th last, yeah. Yep. And you can see she does settle under him, and that's her strength, and that's what will carry her right through her career. She settles. She's got a great temperament.
Were you okay in the run here? She's sort of in a nice enough rhythm and close enough.
You want to know the truth? I was not okay at that point.
Well, just thinking.
When did you get okay?
Well, she was going to run into trouble somewhere, and he starts to pull out here. She starts to get a little bit of ground, but look at the wall of horses in front of her. This was trouble in the making, and there was a big gap open, and then it closed again. I thought for a second he was going to go inside, which would have been a mistake. He went outside, but he had about 8 lengths to pick up.
Where were you watching the race?
From the viewing area where the upstairs is.
And I could imagine now, at this point, you're starting to get pretty happy with proceedings.
At the 250, I thought she's going to win, because we know what she does, and he'd been true to the plan. The plan was to let her settle, because she does respond to that, and to run home. But gosh, you know, your heart's in your mouth just the same.
The big question is now, does she go towards the Golden Slipper? It seems the obvious choice. What would you like her to do?
Oh, I'd love her to go to the Golden Slipper, of course, but she has to tell us she's ready. She's a very sound filly. My expectation is she'll be there.
What have we got? How many weeks?
3.
Straight in then, obviously, if she goes in.
Yep.
And did you always have the faith that Craig would pick your filly?
No.
No?
No, he's a jockey. I mean,
who did you think that he would pick?
Oh, I thought he probably would pick us, but it was no certainty. Tulip was a very good...
You purchased her as a yearling. At what point was there any indication from the stable or even yourself that you might have something pretty good on your hands?
Well, you really don't know. It's a lottery, isn't it?
Yep.
I bought her for the depth of her pedigree. She was out of a Group 2 winner. She was by Fastnet Rock, and Fastnet Rock's a magnificent stallion at Coolmore. And what I really went to...
Nick. I think she's very, very good. There's no doubt about it. Look, Pariah did get caught 3 deep, no cover here, but it's not as if that he was pushing. He was travelling. I thought he was all over a winner here, Pariah, when he looms up, and Blake still got something left in the tank here. And the filly's got work to do, Catchy. And I think he's going to hold on here. Although he's done a little bit tough, the pressure wasn't extreme. And look at her. Look, nothing else is finishing from the back. She's no doubt a very, very... She might be another Miss Finland. I've heard the stable are saying they remind her of Miss Finland. They may well have got that right. I thought Pariah was great. Formality was good. All the Hayes team and Dabinik team sort of shaped up there. First, third, fourth, sixth. Even Marahib, he was 4 deep, no cover, and battled on extremely well. But maybe the first 2 stand alone, and they could well be legitimate slipper horses.
I think so, Duff. That last 200 metres from Catchy, I think, was the fastest of the day down at Caulfield. So it's not a case of Pariah just dropping off from a slightly tough run. He is very good through the line, you're right, but she's actually lifted late to get the cash there, and what I thought was a huge performance. And I think we'll hear from Tom in a second, but I've got a feeling she's not the only one from the team coming up.
No, well, that'll be interesting to see. They have got numbers there, and they have got options. So I suppose they give them time to get over the run and see what's available.
It's a perfect timing, though, I would have thought, Duff, that when you've got to go from Melbourne to Sydney with a 2-year-old, you've got the 3-week gap. It works out better, I think, than the
timing's a lot better now.
Yeah.
Okay. The Oakley Plate, time on its sprint race. I'm getting excited.
$9.50. Kaepernick, $13, and Flamberge goes to $18 with El Divino at $19 currently. Over the page, not too many of these have been supported, but a bit of cash for Wild Rain and also an I Am a Star, both at $10 with backers. Kaepernick, $13, and Flamberge is at $18. But Extreme Choice is a pretty good go here in the Oakley Plate.
Jane, give us the pick of the yard for the Oakley.
About to go. They're off. Extreme Choice jumped okay. Fell Swoop just might have knuckled a little bit. Ocean Embers began fast, and so did Guard of Honour. And in the early stages, there's Fartanar and Scheidel getting up on the inside with the GNC. So it's in the early stages at the 800 metres, Scheidel who showed the way. For Joe Moreira, out by about a length here to a GNC, Fartanar. And next, Miss Promiscuity, followed Guard of Honour. Getting up on the inside, Wild Rain from El Divino. They're followed by Flamberge and Fell Swoop. About a length and a half further back in the field is I Am a Star on the inside of Shakespearean Lass, Extreme Choice, Thermal Current, Hellbent, and then Ready Sunshine, followed by Ocean Embers and Kaepernick last. Scheidel around the home turn from Fartanar, Miss Promiscuity, back behind those horses, Wild Rain, they're followed behind those is Flamberge, but down towards the 200, Scheidel and Fartanar are in a battle royal. Scheidel on the inside for the Magic Man and Fartanar, Fartanar, Extreme Choice from nowhere, but Scheidel's won it. Scheidel scored from either Fartanar or Extreme Choice, who absolutely flew home with Hellbent. Next over was Fell Swoop, Miss Promiscuity, followed by El Divino, I Am a Star and Shakespearean Lass, Flamberge, Kaepernick, Ocean Embers, and back behind those horses, Thermal Current and the GNC, Ready Sunshine, Wild Rain, one of the last in the Oakley Plate.
Oh, there's no stopping the Lindsay Park operation today. Scheidel gives them their second Group 1, and the Magic Man, Joe Moreira, in the saddle. She's paid $7.30, $2.30. Stablemate of Scheidel, Fartanar has run second. Tremendous run there for Ben Allen. Third has gone the way of Extreme Choice. Fourth has gone to Hellbent. Numbers.
Fartanar was brave and closing off Extreme Choice at Hellbent, but they never really looked like threatening Scheidel, who was up on speed throughout today and a worthy winner. $7.30 and $2.30 as mentioned.
What amazing she is, isn't she? She just jumped out so clear ahead of the others from the gates and straight into the bridle. Nice, relaxed, not really pulling hard. And he was tested at the top of the straight. She didn't let me down, and it's proven that she's a good deal.
Now, Fartanar came up.
Very slick time, 102.11. That is low flying in the Oakley Plate. Over 1,100 metres here at Caulfield. $7.30, $2.30. Stablemate Fartanar, $9. Fartanar was involved in the dramatic pre-race scenes last week. Let's talk just briefly about the winner, and then I'll ask you about Fartana. But with Scheidel, I mean, with your confidence level so high for her first up today, what do you do with her now?
Look, we're probably going to look at the Newmarket. You know, she's beautifully weighted. She's got that Group 1 win. Rob was very keen to send one of the fillies for the Galaxy. I'll be voting to keep her in Melbourne and go her end game being in Adelaide, the Goodwood, and the $2 million race in Adelaide.
Of course, great options there. And Fartana potentially could be going to Dubai.
You see Miss Promiscuity up there too.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
It's interesting. You look at the Oakley Plate and we thought, oh, gee, there'll be speed on you. We had a flash late and there's Extreme Choice and Hellbent doing exactly that. But it was dominated on speed. The track, I think, suited. But, gee, I tell you what, Scheidel was strong and she's out-muscled Fartana there.
Well, she actually ran away at the end. It was an extraordinary performance. Her last start, she was second in the Winterbottom, and that was a race that Malagira was in. She's a very, very good, honest filly.
Someone tweeted last night that they don't think in the history of the Oakley Plate 2 horses that have ever turned for home 1-2 have run 1-2. So it was an incredible...
That was the pattern of racing. I mean, Catchy defied that pattern for the day.
It's quite interesting to look at the closing sort of sectionals there. You can see it was brilliant rides, I think, from Moreira and Ben Allen to take off when they did, because the horses at the back were clearly closing, but they'd just done enough to secure the result. Now Scheidel, future plans for her, the rest of this preparation, she's got the all-important Group 1 out of the way. Does she potentially head to Sydney, or do you look at races like the Goodwood and Robert Sangster in Adelaide?
Well, the Robert Sangster's got really increased prize money, so that'll be on our radar.
And that's Mary's grade, so hallelujah.
Yeah, but we might look at the Galaxy. Miss Promiscuity will be
there, but I'd imagine the William Reid may be the option they take, given that the ownership group and the connections have also Flying Artie in that race. Hellbent, still decisions to be made whether he goes towards a Newmarket or potentially the same path towards a William Reid Stakes, but plenty of wash out there. There's some stories up on racing.com. I think one of the Phil Swear whether he heads towards that Newmarket or...
I reckon the biggest surprise for most punters was that Extreme Choice was probably 2 lengths further back than most of us thought he might have been.
Well, you saw him in the Moya, fantastic when he was ridden back, so you can understand that from the gate that he was at.
Yeah, probably.
He has showed in the past, though, he's pretty fast when they put the handlebars down and go across, but I think Craig Newitt was of the opinion that he was following Fell Swoop in the right stage of the race, but then Fell Swoop never really took him to where he wanted to be, and at that stage Fartana and Scheidel really skipped away on the turn, but his effort was still commendable without getting the result.
Well, Rob, mate, thanks for your...
Yeah, it's just in the stable Quinella as well. Usually in an Oakley Plate, you know, as you see, they say they'll run this like an Oakley Plate, but I don't think they went that hard here. These two stablemates just, I think Fartana found the lead for sure there, and this little Scheidel, she's an absolute beauty. No flaws in her form at all. Look, Extreme Choice was pretty good, Hellbent was good, but I think with all that speed drawn in the first 7 barriers, I think that told in that race where the pressure wasn't as severe as we expected, and the on-paces really stood out there, Greg.
Tom, congratulations. Look,
no flaws in her form at all. Look, Extreme Choice was pretty good, Hellbent was good, but I think with all that speed drawn in the first 7 barriers, I think that told in that race where the pressure wasn't as severe as we expected, and the on-paces really stood out there, Greg.
Tom, congratulations. Look forward to seeing the